So hey, what's up guys, Box here and welcome to some F1 2018 career mode. We're finally here for the start of our F1 2018 career mode. So this is on the PS4 and as you can see, this is going up on the Friday before the release of the game. So we're actually lucky enough to get a review copy of the game from Koch Media. I think it's called Koch Media? I'll leave a link to their Twitter in the description though. So make sure you go check them out. They are the PR company for Codemasters, so thank you very much to them. But let's get into this career mode then. So team selection, right? If I go right now and we'll look at the poll for the team selection. If you take a look, I believe last time I checked it was McLaren that we're going for. So if we go on the community page, we all had a chance to vote. 918 votes. That's absolutely crazy. 918 of you voted, and 47% of you voted for McLaren. So that's the majority. 13% for Renault, 18% for Force India, 9% for Haas, and 12% for Sauber. Lots of comments as well for people going Williams, get Grosjean out of F1. God, Roman Grosjean, please, Force India, no, McLaren, Force India, Williams. So lots of people on the poll won different teams, but 47%, that's almost 500 of you wanted me to go for McLaren. So I'm afraid, well, not afraid, because I actually wanted to do McLaren as well, but McLaren is the team of choice. So our teammate is going to be Fernando Alonso, since he announced his retirement anyway. We're going to finish him. We're gonna be his teammate for this season. So let's get into career mode then, and I believe there's probably going to be some cutscenes and stuff. So we've got a nice little trophy going on over here. But here we go then. Weekend tire allocation. So we've got the practice sessions. Obviously, we're going to go for short qualifying for now. Formation lap, I don't want to do a formation lap. 25% race for now. We'll do some longer ones maybe. So we're going to go for legend difficulty. That's 95. We'll see how we get on. Obviously, I'm just going to adjust the mic, but obviously I don't really know. I've done a little bit of testing of the AI, and on 90. So I think 95 will be about right. If not, we'll have to go up to pace to 95. I don't really want to do less than 95% AI. I'm going to put all this stuff. We'll just leave as it is. We'll put the safety car on. That sounds good to me. And these are the assists I got going on. Enable pro career mode. That might be interesting. But looking pretty good for the start of this career mode then so far. So short qualifying, yep. And let's get into career mode. Obviously you can change all this anyway, but I just want to make sure I got it all right. And let's get into this career mode then.
Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media. So be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tyre wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here equals a quicker car, so it's well worth the effort. Good luck this season. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
Welcome to your new team. McLaren are one of the most successful teams in the sport, and they've reinvented themselves over the past few years. They demand excellence from all areas of their organization, and they'll expect you to integrate yourself and get up to speed from the first race.
Right then, so here we are in the data center. Very nice introduction. You can see we've got Fernando Alonso sat opposite us. That's a nice addition. Your teammate sat opposite us. So here we go. This is the new layout then. So we've got practice 1 we can get into. We have 4 unread messages though. Zach Brown, welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. I'm sure we can have a fantastic season. Yeah. So here we go. Good morning. And this is our contract summary. So minimum qualifying position 12th. Minimum race position 12th. That should be okay. Driver status second. Team goal easy. No R&D point perks at the minute. Goals update. So target complete 4 practice programs. Race weekends remaining 2. Okay. So we can get ourselves 400 resource points over that time. That should be good. Weekend preview. And the weather forecast. Qualifying is going to be wet and a dry race. So that's really about it for in here.
Details about your current contract. On one side are the objectives and bonuses that we've negotiated with the team. On the other is information regarding how you're perceived throughout the paddock, your reputation with the current team, and your overall value to them, which is a combination of these elements.
Right then, so here's our contract. Man, I haven't even looked over any of this. So you got your contract perks, which we've got none yet. Contract value, which is right at the bottom. We're middle for sportsmanship, and we're rookie right now.
Is a great way to earn respect from your team and around the paddock, which will help make it easier to negotiate favourable contracts. Your first rival is always your teammate, but you can choose who to declare as your second. The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more respect you stand to gain or lose depending on the result.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad we get to choose our rival. We didn't in F1 2017, which is really annoying. So here are the driver details, obviously your total points, race wins, stuff like that. And that's the guy I decided to go for. And the audio nickname, I chose the Professor. Oh, pretty good. But there we go. And here we go. Let's take a look at our R&D tree, shall we? You can see we're pretty much a midfield team. I think McLaren in the game are a bit faster than they are in real life. So here we go. You can see the trees actually hidden parts of it, which is a lot better than F1 2017 when you had the whole tree. So I don't know where the development's going to go, which is really more realistic. So that's good. R&D progress, no data. So who's the best team? And it seems to be Scuderia Ferrari, just ahead of Mercedes, and Red Bull are right up there as well. So here we go, 240 laps in our expected lifespan of our power unit. We've got our gearbox, event gearbox. What is that? These are all the parts of the engine. Weekend tire allocation. Obviously, we can change that. I never end up changing that, but maybe I should. Who knows? But anyway, enough chatting through the menus. Let's get into the first practice session, see what we can do, see if the practice programs have changed at all. But we'll have to wait and see. But let's get into the first practice session.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. Now then, Anthony Davidson, there's been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about track limits. How much is too much when you're cutting corners and running wide? What are your thoughts on this? And do you think we'll be seeing drivers pushing those limits this weekend?
Well, I'd be disappointed if we didn't, frankly. If race control want to clamp down on drivers wandering off the track, then it's up to them to police it. As a driver, you're being paid to get your car around the circuit as quickly as possible, don't forget. So if you're not pushing those limits, if you're ignoring the advantageous line, then you're not doing your job properly. Now, I agree that, we have these white lines there for a reason, and we do want to see those limits enforced, but for me, it's not a driver's responsibility to do that.
Right, so we're going to get a bit of a garage tutorial, not that we need it, but yeah, we'll skip that one, but here we go.
I'm looking forward to working with you as your race engineer. Hope you've had a good night's sleep, because we've got a lot of work to do today to prep for the season ahead. We're ready to fire up the car, so why not head out and get a few laps under your belt?
Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at these programs. So we've got track acclimatization, which is the same, time management, fuel management, which is the same. But here we go, ERS management, that's a new one. Qualifying pace and race strategy, so they're pretty much the same. If we look through these screens, they're pretty much the same as well. We got the live feed here. You see someone going out on track there. It seems to be Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton's out on track. And here's the weekend management, so we can head to practice 2, practice 3, and qualifying. But
focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can.
Right then, let's get into track acclimatization anyway, and we'll see how we get on. I'm not going to change the setup yet. I'm just going to leave it on the 1 at the minute. So let's get out on track and let's try it out. Right then, so we're off to a pretty decent start to this qualifying program. Now I am using no racing line for the first time ever in my F1 gaming history, but we should get used to it, and this practice session is a good chance to get used to it. So coming around the final corner then, we've done alright I think over this session. We've hit all the barriers, well the markers, and we're going to get a score of 525, which is more than enough to get us the optimal score. So what we're going to do, we're going to head back into the garage, because that's going to do it from us for that program. So that objective said 400 R&D points, so we've got 50. What's the other? Is there another 50 you can get from here? How does that work? Okay, so I think we've got 50 R&D points, so that's good. I guess the next one we could go for some ERS management then. We'll see for the first time what this program's about, and we'll see how we get on then. I'm not sure what it's going to involve, but I guess we'll find out soon enough, won't we? So we're going to have to manually adjust this then. I've no idea how we're going to do it. What if we just leave it in medium? How does that work? Oh, if we put it in low, that helps, I guess. But look how far off we are. Okay, this is going to be difficult. Right, so just 2/10 off the time we need.
Speed. Make sure to properly utilize your ERS modes.
So we need to work on using the ERS modes a little bit more efficiently. I'm going to put it in low down the straights, and then put it back into medium when we need to accelerate out the corners, and hope that's enough to get us the time we need. So we'll come around the final corner then, and it appears that we've done a decent job at managing the ERS, managing the lap time as well, and that should pop us ahead of Fernando Alonso. Oh my god, puts us into 4th so far.
4th place.
So that's going to do it for that session. I don't know if I'll show all the practice sessions for all the races, but for this first one I'm going to try do them all, or as many as we can do in this session. So far I've got 2,000 points towards some R&D. So the more R&D points we get, the better. Let's get into time management then, and let's see if we can actually return McLaren to a decent team by the end of the season. Right, so this program is going to be the usual tyre management one which we're used to, so it should be just a case of implementing what we did in F1 2017 into F1 2018. So let's see how we get on. So again, coming out the final corner, we've done just enough to get us through into, well, not even to the next section of qualifying, it's into to complete the program. That's the, oh, I've just pressed retry. I'm such an, what am I doing? I'm not used to this PS4 layout. Return to garage. Hopefully that hasn't redone our progress. If it has, then I'm not doing that session again. Oh, that's annoying. I don't think it has. Look over there. Yeah, no. Oh, it has. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, that's pretty annoying. Why did I press that one instead? So we've lost those R&D points because I'm gonna be honest, I don't really want to do it again. But let's do fuel management then, and then I'll get into the qualifying one, and then we'll get into actual qualifying. So far we're doing alright on this session. You can see 2.5 tenths the gap is increasing, which is what we need. So come around the final corner, we've absolutely bossed this one. Look at this, we're a second underneath the time we need, and we're all the way to the right with a purple for the fuel, so that is fantastic. Really good program for us. So what I'm going to do, going to get back to the garage, we're going to do the qualifying program, and then we'll get into qualifying and see if we can get a decent qualifying result. And if we get a really good qualifying result, we might have to turn down the turn up the difficulty, I mean. Right then, so here we are for our first lap then of this session for the the qualifying program. So let's see if we can do it.
Tyres, just give it everything.
So going to be coming across the line then. It's about 0.6 of a second underneath the time we need, which is a good lap for us. So the team are happy with that. I'm happy with that. The new target is 9th to knock another. Oh, it's only 0.03 of a second off, so we probably could have done that. But look at that. That's thrown us right up the leaderboard. So let's retire from the session. That's going to do it for practice. I think we've got enough practice to get a decent qualifying result and then hopefully some good race pace. So that is so weird. We're called the Professor. At least we get a nickname in this one. We were just called the McLaren driver in the previous game. So there we go. We did actually get 2nd place, but we were the only driver on the Ultra Softs. Saying that, our teammate down in 10th got 26.4. We got 24.6. He was on the Super Soft tyres, so we were only a compound apart, and I guess there's probably a maximum, an absolute maximum of a second difference. So 25.4 he probably could have done. So I think the difficulty might be slightly too easy, so we might have to turn it up in the next episode. But for now, we'll get into qualifying then and see how we can get on.
That really seemed to enjoy that. You made it look easy. It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula 1. You must be thrilled.
Right, oh, we've only got a timer. We've got a timer. I don't like the pressure. We'll go for that one.
So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in?
There's so much to learn. Yes, we'll go for that one. I didn't read the other one. There's so much pressure.
Just aiming to find your feet in Formula 1, or do you see something more?
Yeah, there we go. Sportsmanship increase, yes.
Appreciate your time.
So there we go, our first ever interview. Whew, I felt the pressure. I didn't realise there was a timer. Okay, we've got tick, 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 tick. I guess it gets you to maybe not think about the best answer. You could sit there for minutes thinking, oh, what would be the best answer to get this? So good job they put a timer on it. 12 seconds, plenty of time to have a refill. Put you under a bit of pressure to answer the questions, I suppose, like a real interview. But anyway, qualifying's next up. I wonder whether we can spend any resource points. So let's see. We're going to get ourselves some resource points now anyway. But are we going to be able to use them? 345 in total. Reputation with the current team. So the reputation increased with our team and it increased with the other teams. So they were impressed. They're impressed. We gained a bit more sportsmanship, which is good. So let's head to the workstation then. Right. Let's get into some R&D. View the R&D tree. We've got 2,000 points to spend. So where do we want to put it? Where are we compared to... Oh my god. The powertrain. We are near the bottom. With, yeah, all the Renault teams. Aston Martin, Red Bull Racing. It's that bad in a straight line. So how quick is it? How is it so quick in the... Oh, okay, so if you look at the chassis... Okay, I wonder how much reliability is going to be an issue in this game. So what we're going to do... McLaren, they have a problem with drag. So maybe if we go down the aero side of that, that will help. So the chassis is pretty good. The aero is pretty good, but the powertrain is terrible. So what I'm going to do... Input some development points there. And over here, we're going to get the, we're going to get some, we'll go for front downforce for now. Going to get them developing that for now. And then we may also get a chassis upgrade while we're on it, which will increase weight reduction, which should help with straight line speed, definitely, and acceleration. So that's good for us. What can we do up here? No, but increase durability of all power unit components, as well as the gearbox by 10%. We're going to save some points for now. So here we go, R&D in progress. Don't want to spend them all at once, but anyway, let's get into qualifying. Skip to qualifying, and we'll see how we can get on.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. With the weather as it is today, Anthony Davidson, we have, to some extent, to throw the form book out of the window. Who do you see having the advantage on this slippery, unpredictable track surface?
Traditionally, these are very Adrian Newey conditions. The Red Bull's habit of creating incredible downforce coupled with the high rake they like to run is perfect for the wet, and it's helped them close the power gap a number of times over recent years. I think Force India as well, always a bit of a dark horse in changeable conditions, and of course the McLarens have a fairly good chassis. Having said that, I don't want to make a firm prediction. More than performance, the deciding factor is going to be the timing. The level of wetness out on the track is going to constantly rise and fall, and anyone who can find that perfect window when it's at its driest will have a big advantage out there.
Right then, here we are then for a wet qualifying session. We have to do something about the setup, I think. Car setup, yeah, we're gonna have to do something about it. I wonder whether the weather will increase. Will it say? No, it's gonna stay the same. So, car setup, right? What I'm gonna do is gonna be, if I just double check.
I'd suggest you take a set of full wets.
Yep, gonna be dry for the race. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go for this setup here, which will be 4 full wings, all this lovely good stuff which I don't ever change, just stick with that. So we're going to roll with that. Power unit looking gorgeous, nice and fresh, but yeah, that's all we're going to do for now. That's all we can do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head out on track and set the first flying lap of our first ever qualifying session on this game. It's going to be full wet conditions, absolute storm out here, monsoon conditions out here. So let's see how we get on. Ooh, yeah, let's watch the traction, shall we? Ooh, there is no grip out here. We're going to have to be out putting in lap after lap after lap and see how we get on. But let's get into... Oh, you can see all the puddles. The graphics look really good considering it's PS4. I'm used to PC graphics, but... So coming around the final corner then, let's see how this first lap time compares to Kimi Raikkonen's. And we've only moved up to 7th place. Coming around the final corner then, it's so slippy out here. But the track, we are starting to get a bit of a consistent line to take, but let's see where that puts us. Up into 10th place, so slightly improving, so we're going to keep on grinding away at the lap times. So coming around the final corner then, once again, and I'm out of fuel. I'm out of fuel. Oh wow, just as we reach the end of the lap, we're all out of fuel. Wow, out of fuel. I can't believe we're actually out of fuel. Wow, let's get back to the garage. Luckily, we can just get back to the garage. Doesn't really matter about fuel. Luckily, but... okay, at the midway point, let's take a look. I was going to go about 8/10 quicker. But, that wasn't going to happen. If we were to go 8/10 quicker, that would put us in the low 38. So it might do us a bit better. Obviously we need to qualify 12. So engineer says it's getting faster. I'm going to whack on some new tyres, and I guess let's just get out. Let's get out on track and see how we get on the fresh bit of rubber. Hopefully we can do a decent job, but I ain't going to spend too much longer in qualifying because all the points are to be gained in the race, so we're going to go for one more lap. So we're starting our last flying lap, or one of our last flying laps, so let's get into this. So managed to improve by half a second. So wow, as I was saying, I hate that the engineer talks whenever I finish a lap. The engineer talks because that's when I want to talk, but that's going to do us for qualifying. P10 so far, so we're going to retire from the session. Hopefully that's enough to keep us in P10, and then we've just been hit from behind. Very strange. Right then, so 14th place in the end. Hulkenberg got a 5 grid penalty, and Ricciardo pole position, Vettel then Raikkonen. So the first Mercedes is Bottas in 5th, and then Hamilton in 11th place from Hamilton. So we'll be right there with Hamilton. So our teammate outqualified us by 0.6 of a second. I probably had another couple of tenths in the bag. But it's so hard in the wet conditions here. You really have to fight the car around every corner. But I spent so much time in qualifying and practice. I just want to get into the race now. We've got a 25% race ahead of us. Good opportunity to get our season off to a good start. So of course we didn't meet the objective of 12th place for qualifying, but we do have the race, so Potential respect 25. Okay, we're losing rivalry. We're losing the rivalry. That's not good. Got some more resource points. Reputation with current team remains the same. A few growths around there. Mercedes liking it. Bit more sportsmanship, attitude preference, sportsmanship. Okay, there we go. So, yeah.
But chin up, it's not the end of the world.
Right then, so we have the option to simulate sessions now. Oh, I was trying to read my messages. I thought I accidentally pressed square to simulate session. Wow. So, yeah, I was trying to look around the workstation, but I accidentally pressed X on the wheel. I am actually using the wheel, using a Logitech G29 wheel.
New drivers, new cars, and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now. And plenty of changes to the sport this year with the addition of new safety features, the return of France and Germany in an expanded 21-race calendar, and more tyre compounds than ever before. And of course, we have some big car manufacturers back in the sport too, with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin returning as title sponsors for Sauber and Red Bull respectively. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2018 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 4th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season, it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the relative performance of McLaren and Toro Rosso, who have exchanged power unit suppliers this year. And given the additional restrictions on engine components, they need to be strong in terms of both performance and reliability.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Sainz, Magnussen, Alonso, Perez, and Lewis Hamilton, Ocon, Grosjean, the Professor, and Hulkenberg. They've taken a grid penalty. Hartley, Gasly, Charles Leclerc, and Lance Stroll, Ericsson, and Sergei Sorokin rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Okay, so here we are then. Race strategy introduction. We can change up and do any strategy that we want. So what I'm going to do, there's no plan for wet weather racing today, but 15 laps, 1 pit stop, sounds good to me. It's got a shorter projected time, but we could start on the super softs and then go quickly in. But what I want to do, I want to get a good start to this season. So here we go then. Let's do this down to the grid. Come on. No pressure from the start. And our first season of F1 2018 career mode is underway. And we get a decent start actually. I'm going to be cautious into turn 1. Very cautious, don't want to take any damage at the start. Probably a little bit too cautious, and I got a collision with Leclerc. How did that even happen? I do not know how that happened. Maybe we can take a replay of that at the end. But I'm not going to take a look at the replay yet until after the race. So I'm staying in 14th place, although we did start in 13th because Hulkenberg got a time penalty. And I'm going through there in 3rd gear because it's what we did in qualifying in the wet, but that was purely because it was wet conditions. So now we're off to a clean start. We can start looking for some overtakes. Maybe we can look up the inside of Hulkenberg there, but not able to make it stick at all. We've got plenty of time in this race. No pressure. We only need to get 12th place to please the team. But obviously I don't just want to get 12th place to please the team. What I'm going to do, we've got a lot of battery to use up, so I'm going to put it into overtake mode. No, I'm going to put it into high, so we can keep the pace up. Come through this fast left-right chicane, which I need to start learning how to get right. And we're going to put it into overtake mode. Maybe we'll get a bit of a run. There's lots going on down here, so I'm going to back out of this. Well, no, I'm going to go up the inside anyway of Hulkenberg. I didn't intend to do that. He had the same intentions, and we managed to get up the inside. There we go. And we make it stick back into 13th place then. Job done on Hulkenberg. I almost called him Roman Grosjean then. But let's see then. coming on to the start of the second lap. We get a really good run using the rich mix. Come on, and the overtake mode with the ERS. We're all the way at the inside line. And we're not able to, oh, we are able to almost outbrake him. He goes very defensive there, tries to hold it around the outside. It's not going to stick. And there we go. Job done pretty much. A little bit early on the brakes we are, although we try to come around the outside. That's not going to work there for him. So, back up the grid then we go, into 12th place. Next up is Romain Grosjean, as we get a massive kick of oversteer there. So difficult managing the ERS here as Perez and Grosjean getting a little bit, I don't know, argy-bargy there by the looks of it. They were overtaking each other, and I've not got this braking point spot on at all. Brake way too early. Gonna have to watch out for the cars behind. So you can see the top 10 are really pulling away, but we do have 10th place just ahead of us, and it's Romain Grosjean. So come around the final corner, then we've got a bit of a run on Sergio Perez. No DRS just as yet, but I'm going to put it into that maximum ERS mode. We're trying to gain on him, going to go around the outside. Oh, we managed to just about hold it around the outside. We almost hit the grass there, but it's not over yet. Perez, he's not coming up the inside. No way. Going to block off that move. He tries around the outside, but he isn't going to make it stick as we massively take a defensive line. So Romain Grosjean, I think there's been a bit of battling. Oh, again, watch out for the oversteer around there. Well, second lap in a row that we've done that. So Romain Grosjean is next up. There's yellow flags out for some reason, so I wonder what's going on. So there's a little bit of battling going on up ahead, which is giving us a chance to catch up. I'm going to start saving the ERS. We've obviously got some pit stops coming up soon. We've braked a little bit too deep into there, but you can see Sainz and Grosjean going at it, and they're really holding each other up here, which is good for us. Oh, again, watch out for the oversteer. So the plan is to pit lap 6 to 12 is the pit window, so we're going to come in on lap 6. We're going to use this ERS deployment to our advantage, and we're saving up the battery a little bit, keeping it in medium, and in the slower sections I'm going to put it down into low. Going to keep it in rich for now though, so we can keep up the pace. So we're going to be coming onto the straight then. I'm going to whack up the ERS modes. We're a little bit wide around that final corner as I was trying to play around with all the dials. There's so many dials to play around with. We've got the DRS. I'm going to put it in rich mix, put it into hot lap mode. And we're right on the back of Carlos Sainz now. He's going to be feeling the pressure. We've got a fantastic run. Go around the outside again. He's going to squeeze us right to the inside. Oh my god, we've gone very deep. Come on, pull it around the outside. There we go. Lovely move there. Around the outside of Carlos Sainz. And we got ourselves into a point scoring position. So can we catch up to Romain Grosjean, who's just ahead? I'm going to whack the ERS back down to medium. And we've got it in rich mix there. Massive kick of oversteer. I'm getting a lot more oversteer on this year's game. We've got to watch out for Carlos Sainz. He is not going to be happy that we've overtaken him there. Oh, here comes Carlos Sainz. Trying it up the inside. I'm going to cut back in front of him. There we go. There we go. That was better. Go defensive. He had to back out of that completely. I just slammed the door shut on him. So I'm charging up the batteries before we come into the pit then. We get quite late on the brakes there. We're going to be following in Romain Grosjean into the pits then. Oh, lucky not to hit the barrier there. And Carlos Sainz stays out. So let's see how we get on then in the pit stops. Got the other Renault of Hulkenberg behind us, and Hamilton's just come out the pits behind us, and we're one of the last pit stops, which I don't know whether that plays into our advantage or not. But Grosjean's still ahead of us, but we should be right just behind him. So if I whack it into medium, so what I'm going to do, push early on, try to get the tyres up to temperature, get it around turn number 1, and Grosjean is battling it out with Ocon there. So let's try catch up to Ocon then. He's just ahead of us. He's I'm not sure, he hasn't pitted yet, so we need to clear him as fast as possible. It's not a case of battling for position. I'm going to go straight up the inside there, drop it down to 3rd, clear him as soon as possible. Lost a few tenths probably, but we should be okay. Right, we've charged our battery up to about 67%. Obviously it's coming down as we're using the ERS. Oh, so Grosjean has had an engine failure. Look at that. His engine's just gone completely. So that's gifted us a free position. I will take that. And Lewis Hamilton is next up. So we might just struggle to catch up to him. But you never know. We've got to make sure that we kept ahead of Carlos Sainz though. We've got plenty of rich mix, plenty of battery. And here comes Carlos Sainz. It's going to be close. Coming to turn number 1. Oh, give him space on the inside. Oh, that is annoying. They had to give him space there. So, we are back in the battle with Carlos Sainz. And we've got Fernando Alonso, our teammate, just up ahead of us. And here comes Sainz up the inside. Oh, he's feeling feisty on the new tyres. There's a bit of contact there. No damage, I don't think. Keeping it up the inside. There we go. Slotting him out. And that little battle has brought Hulkenberg back into play behind us. So, we've got plenty of battery, so maybe we can use these new tyres now to try and catch up to Alonso. Gap is 5.5, so let's use this ERS and see if we can slowly but surely catch up to Fernando Alonso. So, after that first lap, what is the gap now to our teammate? It's 5.6, so it's grown by about 1/10 of a second. So here comes Carlos Sainz. He's got a fantastic run on us. The Renaults have looked really quick behind us. We've been catching up to Fernando Alonso, but he's been getting into a bit of a battle. But now we're trying to defend from Carlos Sainz. We're going to lose a little bit of time to Fernando Alonso. We've got the gap down to about 3 seconds, I believe it is. We're going to keep it in rich mix. Yeah, 2.7 seconds is the gap there. They did go side by side for a few corners on the previous lap. That is Alonso with one of the Red Bulls. So, wow, we got Carlos Sainz. He's really looking to get past us now. Trying to keep him on the outside. Gonna have to give him a little bit of room. Squeeze him out a little bit. We got 5 laps left of this race. And you can see both Renaults getting really worked up behind me now. Getting through that fast right-left chicane. And they're going side by side behind. That is not going to be good for them. I'm going to turn the ERS deployment down. We're going to save some ERS while we've got a little bit of time. So they are still battling behind. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the ERS deployment in none for now, especially through these twisty sections where we don't really need it for now. Obviously it would be useful and would help the lap time, but we're going to leave it off for now, save up a little bit more in the battery. So you can see we're losing time to Fernando Alonso ahead now because of this, but it's going to be saving up the battery. It's going to do us some good. We're going to get to about 60% and then we'll probably put it back up to medium deployment. Tyre wear's looking fine. Whack it back up to medium deployment.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
So fuel, we're being advised to move to mix 2. I'm going to keep it enriched for a little bit longer. We're going to use up our remaining fuel and then we're going to whack it back into standard and then just manage the battery till the end of the race. See if we can keep it ahead of Carlos Sainz. Maybe we'll be able to catch up to Fernando Alonso, but that's probably going to be a bit of a struggle. But you can see the cars behind now have got into a really big battle. So Carlos Sainz was initially going for the overtake on us, and now he's been suckered into a battle with his teammate Hulkenberg and one of the Force Indias. So we've got ourselves a little bit of breathing room for now. So we're now coming on to lap number 13. 3 laps to go in this race, and we're about on target for fuel. But we're going to keep it going. We've got a bit of a corner cut there which compromised our entrance onto this corner. So I'm going to put it back down into standard and medium for now. We're going to keep on pushing. Fernando Alonso is right there. So we're going to have to use up more of our tyres and quite tactically use the ERS deployment, I think, in order to catch you up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it into hot lap mode. We're going to see if we can catch up, use that little bit of rich mix we got left. So we're going to go for one little push to see if we can catch up to Fernando Alonso. So again, we're going to keep on pushing this hot lap mode on the ERS. The engineer keeps telling us to turn it down. But I wonder what happens if you've run out of battery. I don't know, but we've got this lap and the next lap, and Alonso is right there. So I'm not letting go of this pace. We've got an opportunity here to beat our teammate. Brendan Hartley's out the race now. Don't bring out a safety car, please. Massive kick of oversteer. Let's ride on board and see what we can do over these last 2 laps. A little bit wide there. Not what we want. Put into hot lap mode. Let's go. Keep it going. Come on. And using what little battery we have. Come Coming on to the final lap, you can see Fernando Alonso is right there, and so is Daniel Ricciardo. Let's go hot lap mode. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is our last opportunity.
Final lap of the race.
Oh, we've gone deep into turn 1. Oh, massive mistake there from us. Absolutely massive mistake, but it looks like Fernando Alonso is going for a move up ahead. Oh, that's so annoying if we were able to not to push it. Oh, Alonso, he's got Daniel Ricciardo. What a move from Fernando Alonso. Ricciardo was obviously having to save his battery or something like that. I don't really know, but that mistake has probably cost us a shot at 8th place. But, you know, P9 for our debut. In the McLaren Renault, if we can bring it home at this rate, would be pretty good. I'd take that. So Sebastian Vettel takes the win of this Grand Prix, the opening race of the season. We're going to look to bring home 9th place. I mean, we could have got 8th or 7th just ahead of us, but Fernando did really well to get P7. And then Ricciardo, I don't know what he's doing all the way back here in 8th place. The Red Bull's struggling around here. Maybe they had a wet race set up on. But there we go, P9 for our opening race.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So there we have it. Here are the race results. You can see Sebastian Vettel took the win from Kimi Raikkonen and then Bottas. Hamilton made a massive recovery from 10th on the grid all the way up to 4th. So good result there. Magnussen in 5th for the Haas team, a good surprise result. And then Verstappen moving down from 4th. Alonso moving up from 8th. Ricciardo got pole and went all the way back down to 8th. So maybe he did have a wet race set up on. And then we went from 13th to 9th. So I'll tell you what, I'll take that, I will. So if we take a look at the standings, you can see here are the standings. They'll be as per the race results. And then getting into the constructors, here we go. Ferrari leading from Mercedes, so that is good. And we're off to a good start with McLaren. Only Haas ahead of us, but they did get a good result. Surprise result, 5th place from Magnussen. So let's head then to, presumably we're going to get an interview, I guess, after our first race. We have one after our first practice session, so maybe after our first race we'll get one too. Right, so we're currently losing the rivalry only by 1 point though against our teammate. I'll take that for the first race to only be 1 point, well, 1 point in the rivalry behind him. We could have chose Van Dorn, had an easier ride in terms of teammates, but that's not how you challenge yourself. If you see, we actually made some good gains there. Force India have a good reputation with us. That's pretty surprising. Ferrari have a decent one, Mercedes have a decent one, so all around good stuff. We move that a little bit closer to veteran in terms of respect, but we're only a rookie for now. Still on sportsmanship, but here we go then. What we got here? This appears to me to be some of these.
You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
Right, so we have a checkpoint challenge and an overtake challenge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get into this overtake challenge then and see if we can do it. It's at France, so we're testing out the new circuit for the first time in career mode. So let's see how we can get on. So here we go. We've got the 2004 Ferrari, a fantastic Ferrari at the Paul Ricard circuit. Time limit, we've got 2 minutes 50 to try and do this overtake challenge. Right. Wow, these engines are so much louder than the other ones. Remember, we've only got 7 gears and not 8. Oh, come on, we can get this guy. I'm stuck on the back of him. Get out the way. Oh, we're so going to struggle now. So after our first lap, we're only up into P13, up into P12 now. We've done 8 overtakes out of 15. Gonna have to keep on pushing as we get deep there. That's annoying. Trying to make up for lost ground at the start of this challenge. I'm only going to give this challenge one attempt. We're not going to make it. We've only got about 10 seconds left. Swooping up the inside of that guy. 13. This is going to be 14. And we were 1 point off of doing it. That is so annoying. But I'm going to leave it at that one, to be honest. We'll do more of these events over the series, but for now, that's going to do me. We'll have to retry that one at a later date. But for now, we're going to be getting to the next round. So if you did enjoy this video, then remember to give it a like. And do share it around with your friends. If you are new to the channel because of F1 2018, let me know down in the comments. And do make sure you subscribe for more. So we will see you in the next one.